fighter and the rider, Sergio Mora, Chris Mannix, he's the fighter, I'm the rider, and just learned very recently that Sergio Mora is now listening to podcasts. Is that right? You're now a podcast consumer?
I am. Long drives have turned me into a podcast listener because I like learning while I'm stuck in this LA traffic instead of listening to the same songs over and over and over that I memorized. I know all the songs by now, so I like to listen and get educated by, women talking about relationships to help me with mine. And then, of course, Scott Galloway. I'm a big fan of politics.
How is it that you were listening to Scott Galloway? Well, how does that happen? Eubank Jr., Conor Benn finally going to face off. We're going to unpack that from start to finish. We're also going to talk a little bit more about the Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. fight. Been hearing a lot of backlash, continued backlash about Jake Paul's decision to fight Chavez Jr. And a fight card in mid-July, Sergio, is starting to shape up. And it looks like Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Shiraz are going to be at the top of that bill. We're going to get to that as well. But let's start by talking about the fight that has been over 3 years in the making. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, middleweight fight. No title on the line, but this is proof positive and evidence of why no title actually matters in a situation like this. These two men have generational history. Their fathers fought a couple of times back in the 90s. And these two were scheduled to fight in 2022 before that.
Well, because I like reading, I like writing, I like learning, I like a lot of things outside of boxing. That's the reason I'm here, man. That's the reason I'm still around. I know more than boxing. I know how to articulate myself. And I listening to podcasts.
You know how to what yourself? Okay. So basically, you go from Scott Galloway to call her daddy.
Yeah, something like that. Is that a call her daddy? Is there a rule?
That's an actual podcast.
Let me put it in my podcast.
Okay. All right. Well, he's doing that. We're going to spend a lot of time on this show talking about the big fight this weekend. Chris' fight was scrapped after Conor Benn tested positive for a banned substance. Fast forward 2.5 years, and here we are, ready to go with Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Is this as big a fight as the promoters are making it out to be? Because every interview I've heard Eddie Hearn give, Ben Shalom, anybody involved with this fight, call it one of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
Of course it is. It's already sold out, isn't it?
65,000 plus.
65,000 and no title on the line between two names that are very familiar. That's what happens when you bring legacy in the mix. Whenever you bring two guys that hate each other, it's a marketable, promotable fight. It promotes itself. And they're the opposite of each other. You have this classy guy in Eubank Jr. that doesn't really talk. He's like his father, but they could fight, and he's been around a long time, Eubank. And when it comes to Conor Benn, he comes from legacy as well. But he's more of the angry guy. He's more of he's the one that brings the anger. So it's two completely different personalities and two completely different fighters. That's how you market things. That's how you package it and market it, promote it. And they're promoting it themselves.
Yeah.
So who doesn't like the fact that Eubank, who's the reserved, soft-spoken guy,